So that's a big thing, though. Lots of change in technology, genetics and all that. Space travel. There's a monumental discovery made.
What's that?
In the late 22nd century, and that is the highways. Highways. The astronauts discover an artificial dark matter highway that links the solar system to another system.
Why'd you say highways like that?
I don't know. It came out as highways, and I just repeated myself to make fun of myself.
Oh, okay.
Because you make fun of yourself, other people can't make fun of you, right? They can't post comments saying, ha ha, Harways. Okay, so anyways, astronauts discover an artificial dark matter highway. Now what is this? How does this dark matter highway work? I'm still working on the exact details, but it's basically a concentration of dark matter that allows, in dark elements, and dark elements are usually artificial, that allows for spaceships to kind of warp the space around them in that kind of area. So it kind of works like warp travel, except it's not warp travel, but it kind of is like that. This we're actually not, in science fiction, there's not very many different ways that sci-fi has come up with faster than light travel. They really break down to very few original ideas.
Well, there's event horizons.
Do they travel through event horizons? You mean through a black hole?
An event horizon? Is like fold space?
Oh, okay, yeah. So there's folding space, and then there's warping space, and then there's hyperspace. Those are like the three main ones that is usually used. We either find a way to manipulate space so that it's compressed in front of us and decompressed behind us so that it actually doesn't take as long to go through space, or we find a way to drop into another dimension like hyperspace or subspace, and then for some reason traveling along that is equivalent to traveling a lot further in real space. And then of course there's folding or wormholes kind of fall into that category as well, where there's links between more than one point. So there's all these different ways. So this highway is basically, it's a concentration of dark matter and dark elements that, with the right technology, with the right engines created, you can travel along it at faster than light speeds. But you're not actually traveling faster than light. It just appears that you are. It's all relative.
Yeah, how does that make sense?
Well, it's that. Ask Einstein.
Oh, okay.
And so in the late 22nd century, the first unmanned flight through the highway.
Oh, I thought you were going to say to Mars.
No.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's
I know
already
you weren't
happened.
going to say because people are going there for thousands of years.
Yeah, there's already like more than 10,000 people on Mars. Probably by this point, more than 100,000 people. Anyways, and so basically it acts a lot. They send their first unmanned space probe through this thing because they have no idea what will happen if you put a person into that. And it actually connects to another system just like ours. Now, when I say just like ours, I don't mean like exactly like ours, but I mean like with a star and planets, and one of the planets even turns out to be habitable. So it's pretty crazy.
That's a fun word.
Habitable?
Yeah.
Habitable.
It's like saying, I edited it.
Edited it. It's not hard to say, but it sounds funny.
Yeah.
So that's monumental. We're now leading into the real sci-fi of dark potential. Because soon, in the 23rd century, we're going to have the first manned trip through the highway. We're going to have discoveries of the other systems, more highways connecting to more systems, more planets. And there's going to be all sorts of funky planets. We're going to get into that in future Dark Potential Developers Diary. Unfortunately, this is where my everything that I've really developed comes to an end. I have to now work on the stuff for the 23rd century and the 24th and 25th century. But that's basically where dark potential is going to begin around the 2530s. That's like the decade that the game will begin. And so the war will have been over in the 2430s. So really we only have another a couple hundred years to cover.
That's not that much more time of peace,
No, there's no peace right now anyway. This is the one thing I'm kind of stepping away from, and I know that this isn't completely original, but a lot of sci-fi kind of tries to sidestep the politics by uniting them all really quickly and saying, okay, eventually this conquers the rest of them, and now there's the Terran Dominion or whatever. But I don't want to do that. I want to keep governments there, that you're going to have these factions based on governments up until the fall. When everybody dies, then obviously that kind of resets governments. But for the history, I want that to be there. That can create nice flavors for the factions in Dark Potential, as we will find out. What countries exactly will survive right up until the 100 Years' War? I'm not quite sure. I'm sure China will be in there.
It better be in there. If it's not in there, then half of me will die.
Yeah, so China will be in there. Europe obviously has to be in there.
Why? How come they got to be in there?
Europe as a whole, like not necessarily England or France or Germany, but Europe's pretty big.
Well, I was just saying North America. North America can be in there.
Yeah, of course it will be.
Yeah.
But it won't be like the powerhouse, United States powerhouse kind of thing. We're not going to be doing that cliche. You know, that it'll probably be Canada that annexed the United States. I still like that idea. Somehow I'm going to have Canada. I'm going to make it work, and it's going to make sense that Canada annexes the United States. Maybe their economy just falls so far that something happens. I'm not quite sure what. Because really it's not realistic. I want Canada and the United States to join together. I'd like that to happen. Because, hitch our economy right onto theirs and go right with them.
Aren't they going to make like a new dollar for it, like called the Amero or something like that?
That would be awesome. The Amero. That's perfect. Let's do that.
I don't think that's an original idea. I think that's actually serious.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds funny. The Amero. Why don't we just like combine them to the whole world and just make the World Arrow?
The World Arrow.
The World Arrow. Economy is a funky thing. It really is a very complicated thing. That's more complicated than science. Like I can kind of understand quantum physics, but I can't understand economics. It's just so dilapidated in how complex it is. And artificial intelligence it continue to grow. So we kind of hit that in earlier ones. So we're out of time, pretty much, and I think I've covered everything I need to. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. We've now finished the 22nd century. We're going to get into really exciting stuff coming up. I do need to start developing I have to flesh out all the details. I just have a very basic skeletal structure there right now. But I do want to work on that. And I need your encouragement and your ideas, so go ahead and post them below. I obviously won't be using everybody's ideas because a lot of them will contradict, but I do read them all, unless you post it on an old video, in which case I won't read it, probably. And make sure you participate on the forums as well. I do read probably the forum topics more often than I read the comments. So there'll be a link right below this video to the forum. What's so funny?
There's a lot of probablys in there.
Well, I don't like committing myself, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm a busy guy.
That would probably be bad.
Yeah, that would probably be bad. Definitely, probably. But we will be talking more about that. And so I hope to have more of this developed within the next week. That's going to be kind of my goal, probably, to get that done. Although the next few days are going to be pretty busy. But still, I want to get this done. Just so you know, we are still working with the artists. We do have stuff coming, concept art. In fact, probably by the time you watch this video, we'll already have some of them out, because this will be put out by next week, I would say, by the time we get to this one, because this is the third that we made today.
Probably by the end of next week, probably.
I don't know.
But that's
every other day.
About it. That wouldn't make sense to the people watching. They're like, wait, I'm watching right now. Did they mean like a week from now?
No, I mean a week from whenever.
A week from... That's worse than probably.
All right. This is Matthew from MiniWarGaming with Dave, or MiniWarGamer Dave.
It sounds weird when you say Dave.
Dave.
It doesn't work.
Davey. Happy wargaming.